Hi guys, so this PowerPoint is about rise of classical empires and the emergence of world religions. We've been doing the world religions the past few weeks, and we also did empire building before we got stuck at home here. So let's take a look at this. First topic you guys were looking at was the Silk Road, so I'm going to try to explain that. It says life during the age of empires in Afro-Eurasia was characterized by increasing contact and connection that spread ideas, belief systems, commercial goods, and technologies between peoples across this vast region. So basically, Afro-Eurasia, meaning Europe and Africa, but basically what's going on here is that at this time period in the world, people are not isolated, meaning just because they're living in one place, like if I'm living in Africa or China, doesn't mean that I don't have contact with other people. So we know that, we could send a text to someone or we could order a product, and we could get things very, very quickly. The world has become smaller with the technology that we have. Back then, products and ideas would have traveled, we're using this as example from China, all the way over to the Roman Empire. Over thousands of miles, they would have exchanged these products and ideas. And that's significant because that can change cultures. That can impact certain cultures to do certain things in different ways. And when we talk about religion, especially, you could have, Hinduism or Buddhism spreading outwards this way and have people living in Rome who want to convert to that. And conversely, you could have, as we saw, Christianity in Rome could spread out, and people in other parts of this area might celebrate that religion as well, which it is that way today. Let's look at the next slide. So we've got empires and religions. These exchange networks also connected people across different ecological zones. For example, nomadic peoples of the Asian steppes were in contact with agricultural peoples in river valleys. So here's what's happening. This kind of is a review for us going back to, before people lived in civilizations, before there were empires, before there were these set religions that we've learned about. You've got people living in different parts of the world, farming allowing them to create cities and do other things, have families, specialize in certain types of work. That's where the agriculture comes in. The nomadic people, nomad meaning they're moving from place to place, and with them they're taking their ideas of their culture to different places. But when we look at this map for religions, and there's the timeline, I know you guys looked at this before in one of your assignments, this kind of coincides with the Silk Road map that I just showed you. But think of it this way. If you have the exchange of ideas across these lands, with it being religion as a big one, you know that as the starting points of those three major religions was here in one place. But think of it as spreading out in all different directions. And with people taking their products and goods with them to sell to other people, they are talking and exchanging those ideas and beliefs with the people that they meet. So if I leave China and I'm practicing Buddhism, and I leave and I carry products all the way into, the Roman Empire, which is primarily Christian, and I meet with someone who I sell them a product, but I also share my ideas about my beliefs, and we get in a conversation about religion, maybe they become more interested in what I believe in, and they convert. Or, on the other hand, maybe we just talk about our different religions and we go on our separate ways. My point is that it's not just the exchange of products, necessarily. It is the exchange of beliefs and ideas, mainly in this example, religions. And in today's terms, we could actually talk also about the spread of not just ideas, but of disease. So I know it's been in the news with, the coronavirus being from China, as the president has said. But if we look at it from a regional standpoint, if it really did originate here, like they've said, it didn't take very long for it to spread everywhere in the world. Now, I'm sure there were diseases back then that spread just the same, just like religions. We don't want diseases to spread like that, but it's so easy for things in our day and age to spread very quickly, as you guys have seen. So, next slide. Stable empires needed ever-increasing access to new resources and ideas. They created the conditions that allowed for trade to expand. Meaning, they opened those trade routes, they opened those trade networks. If I was living in Rome and I wanted certain spices I couldn't get in my part of the world, I might, have sent letters or couriers to people in China saying, hey, you've got this great spice, you've got this great tea, you've got these great materials for clothing. I want to buy these things from you. Let's make a deal on that. So it's kind of cool to think. I mean, think of it as being like, you order something on Amazon today, it shows up within like a week. Back then, people would have been traveling thousands of miles to get to you to deliver that package. This slide, as exchanges increased, so did collective learning across the region. Technologies developed and spread, including iron, which led to marked changes in human societies. That's significant because we learned before in a different unit about um, the use of bronze, the use of other technologies. If we go all the way back to the Stone Age, people using certain tools and weapons. Now we've got iron, a very, very strong material that people would have used, especially in their swords and their other weapons. And you guys learned about the Crusades. You would have seen swords, shields, chainmail, all of that stuff in religious wars. Excuse me, the religious wars between Christians and Muslims. So that's just kind of what I've got for you guys. Tomorrow it'll be something new, hopefully. So hope everyone's staying safe.